Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Hardware Intel webinar series. The webinar from UAP exploring how hardware can help shape our futures. From households to commercial properties, we'll be discussing a range of fire-related topics in this series. And in today's webinar, we're talking about using fire door hardware for global urbanisation. My name is Nicola John, and I'm a business consultant, and having worked in both construction and the door industry for many years, fire doors, quality products, and fire in general is very important to me. So joining me today is Richard Morris, the National New Business Development Manager for UAP. Welcome to episode 3, Richard. Perhaps you could give the listeners and viewers an insight into your role at UAP.
Cheers, Nicola. Yes, as I'm saying, my name is Richard and I'm the National New Business Development Manager for UAP. I've been with UAP for just over 7.5 years and I've been working through different departments within the business in sales since I joined. And my role now is taking on more of an aim towards the fire door market, where I'm looking at supporting and helping the manufacturers and their clients to actually create a fire door set to allow them to supply it to the end user.
Well, you're the right person for me to talk to today then. So as buildings get bigger and much more technologically advanced and complicated, how much have levels of security and fire compliance changed in the last decade?
Well, yes, since obviously the Grenfell tragedy, it's been a massive change in the whole way that the fire is looked at in a building structure. So it's not just about a fire door and the way that's put together in the actual fabric of the building. It's every other element of the building is looked at as well. I know we're concentrating on the fire door side of things. So yes, in 10 years, we've seen a huge shift in the standards and the requirements of a door to be able to do its job a lot better and a lot more consistency in the actual.
Sure. And you know, alongside that, as we know, which we looked at in episode 2, security comes hand in hand with it, doesn't it, really? So the new regulations have tightened up a little bit with this, double standard. So levels of security, have you seen a big change since you've been at UAP and what your customers want? Yes,
we've gone from not really having a secure by design standard in place as such. Now we have a lot of standards all related to TS standards, as they call them, for secure by design. Also with the PAS 24 requirement on the door sets. You also in the fire marking as well of FD30 or FD60 or even above. And then you also have smoke. So it's a whole complete package of stopping the fire from happening. If it does happen, it's stopping the smoke from obviously transferring between internal to external of the flat or the actual compartmentalization of the building itself.
Yeah, of course. And those occupants still want that security element, even though it's a fire door, don't they? So they're looking to make sure that their door is secure, as well as making sure it's got all the sort of components it needs for fire.
Yes.
And fire prevention is a topic that's been in the news, I think, a lot over the last few years, in particular with these high-rise buildings and highly populated areas. And high-rise has some new regulations. How has that affected the product selection that for UAP and for your clients? What are you looking at that's different, really?
I believe it comes down to the quality of the product and the ability to actually replicate the issue of a fire test, or when a door set goes through a fire test, is to really replicate that process and to ensure that there's consistency in that door set. That then gives confidence in the product, and then it gives confidence then to the end user and also the housing association or council that's linked to that, to be able to prove that whatever's being put onto that door as a product and a door set will actually work in an environment, even if it's below 18 stories in height. It still has to be able to perform to the same standard and give the same level of security and also the same level of competence of an FD30 or an FD60 door set.
Yeah, so we're looking at those fire protection features as well alongside the regulations and the security elements. And I think you look at those as a business, don't you, when you're compiling your new products and what you're looking at selling out to customers?
Yes, the 4 key points that you put onto there is very important. and we work with an element of that to ensure that whatever we supply to our customer, obviously a door set manufacturer in most cases, that they have the knowledge from what we can impart to themselves, but also what they've got from other areas themselves, from an architect's point of view, from what's been given to them a lead as in regards to the housing association, in regards to their requirements with the architect then as well. So we can work at different levels.
It's interesting you talk about architects there, because in episode 1, I chatted to Paul Goggins about the specifications, and yourself and Julian in episode 2. So we're sort of tying those things together today. So specification, then testing. But now we're looking at the end user, and products need to look nice as well, don't they? Even though they've got to be fire compliant. And architects and people who are specifying those products in this sort of new modern world where people are looking at the aesthetics of things. How have you how are your clients looking at that, or how is UAP looking at that?
Yeah, I think with the product itself, yes, the physical product is obviously important with the aesthetics of the product to make sure that, you know, it most important factor is that it does its job.
Yes,
you know, look at an aluminium or a chrome based product, and that will actually then potentially melt away on the fire side of a fire test. With a stainless steel based product, those products stay in place. So there's potentially less issues of products falling onto the floor on the inside of the fire, melting, and again causing the ability for a fire to get through under the actual bottom of the door. So we look at the aesthetics as well as the actual materials the products are made from to make sure that they can comply, and also make sure that they're fit for purpose, basically. So a stainless steel product can be used then on an external fire door. We still have external fire doors in a situation where they're in a weathered environment. So whilst you could put an aluminium product or a chrome product on, you can have issues then of pitting and corrosion on them. With a stainless steel based product, you won't have those issues in an external door set situation.
So you've got all those things to think about, and also we've got government targets for new homes, developments, and you're there to look for new business for UAP and talk to new customers about what you can do to help them. So what is it that you do to help new customers at UAP, Richard?
Right. Well, the first stage really is evaluating what that customer is actually looking to do. So that can be the spec that comes from the architect. The specification from the architect obviously is a vital first step. Then establishing realistically what kind of door set they're looking to make. If it's a timber door set, composite, or even a steel kind of based product. We then look, for example, at what kind of rating they're looking for, FD30 or FD60, and then the actual positioning of that door. If it's an internal door set or an external door set, that those configurations obviously make a big difference to what we can offer, and also the cost implications as well on the door set. So it's then we'll actually walk through with customers a product. We'll show the whole list of products that we have, showing them samples to ensure they're comfortable in what they can add to the specification, because there is a lot of confusion in regards to what can and can't be added to a specification on a door set.
Yeah.
And it all depends on the actual base material. Timber door sets, you're allowed to add a lot more different products into that spec or of the door set spec. Because under certify, you can add products in because they've been individually tested on the products. So it means they will pass and be allowed to be added in to the spec of the door. On composite sets at the moment, you have to really test on an individual customer basis for that whole door set.
So you would help your customers, walk them through it, you know, go through with them what your knowledge is, and look at the suitable products for their particular need, I assume.
Yes, it comes down to an individual need. What we're finding is the raft of products that UAP can offer at the moment it is more than fit for purpose. It covers all needs, so it's not just the fire need of it. We also then will cover the security aspect. We also then cover DDA as well, which is another important factor that's more and more needed these days in environments. So we can offer a full set of product that has your smoke coverage, your fire, your DDA compliance, and also the means that the product won't have any issues of corrosion or pitting in the future.
Yeah, and I think you've taken some courses, I know, Richard, on fire door inspections, and you know that knowledge, I'm assuming, helps you when you're talking to customers about what they need.
Yes, I think that's important, and we looked at that as a business to see where we can, instead of just talking about a product and then understanding potentially that we understand what we're talking about, but proving that we can actually really understand, and even when we go to a site situation, sadly I look at doors like most people in our industry too often. You look at the hinges, you look at the door closer, you look at whatever's on that door, and you instantly get involved in a door when you look at it. And I think it's important because it shows that we've invested into our team. It's not just myself that's done the fire door inspection scheme. There's a few members of staff that have done it, core members, that it's that knowledge, and it's sharing the knowledge then with our customers.
Yeah, of course. And the training centre of excellence that you have as a company means that knowledge that you get, you can share with other members of the team, doesn't it? So it goes across the board, I know. Yeah,
I'm there to support at the end of the day, from internal to external members of staff. I can go into any environment in the UK or abroad and just support the customer, support our members of staff to ensure that whatever information they've got, it's correct and it's up to date. That's amazing.
Okay, well, let's have a little look then at some of UAP's fire-related products. Talk me through some of the things that you've got at the business, so that if anybody's a new client watching or an existing client, they may not know, all about your products. Tell me what you've got.
Okay. Well, we can start from the top left-hand corner, which is the cylinders, basically. Obviously, with an individual cylinder, they do get fire tested. Obviously, the material that they're made from is important to make sure that you've got a high melting point on that product so it doesn't melt away. Most cases these days, cylinders are made of brass or brass core. So that means that those cylinders will stay in place in a fire situation. And the other aspect then of that is the security side of it. So we now have our new K4 cylinder, as it's called, the K4 Kinetica. That's just been through all the recent new testing that's required, and we actually have it passed now on the Diamond standard for secure by design. So as an individual cylinder, it's very easy to swap out and give you that 3-star TS007 rating that you would require on a door set. Knockers, they were just a sacrificial item, but what you find is, again, they can be made of stainless steel or aluminium. Because if they're made of stainless steel, they won't melt. So if it falls into a situation where it comes off the door, that's fine. They're only surface mounted, so that's no issue. Door viewers, again, there's standards again for that now for secure by design. So our SWALF viewers, we call them, are made from stainless steel. The important factors with them is that they've got the 180 degrees of vision application that you need for standards, which is TS002. No, TS002, sorry. Then we also have the Paraglass lenses within that viewer, which is 3 of them. So it's the same kind of glass that gets used in fire doors. And we use the same glass in the SWALFs because it means then there's no way of that viewer actually melting through and causing, penetration of the flames, which could cause a failure on the actual door set. So, yeah. I can keep going, but it's like you can
keep going. Unless there is a slide, I know, with the fire products that we could have a look at.
Right. Okay.
We've got somebody else turn in slides for us. But this product here is your TS008. It's the Salterian letter plate, isn't it? Have I said it correctly?
It is a Salterian letter plate. People say it in different ways. Depends on where we come from, I suppose. But this is actually our latest version of the TS008 Salterian. This is actually the slim version. So the reason we created a newer version again is because of, in many cases, when you're looking at flat entrance doors, when you actually open the door inwards into a building, the actual rebate or the actual return that's on that actual door is very, very small because they make very small flat entrances these days. And with our own and others on the market, we're actually hitting the back of the return or the actual plasterboard section of the wall in the hall before the handle was, so it was causing problems. So we've looked at bringing a slimmer version out. This product itself is in the marketplace. It's passed all the testing that's needed to do in regards to security testing for TS008, and we are in the process of getting it through certifier certification, and we also have had it in a number of door sets already for composite setups. So again, as a product, we're obviously changing, obviously improving the aesthetics as much as we can in our product range, continuous improvement, basically, to ensure that.
Good addition to your range, that, isn't it? And I'm going to sing its praises because that has got a finalist place at the best innovation or innovative product at the G21 award as well. So I'm going to sing that particular product's praises a little bit. But on the next slide, then you've got some of the other fire-related products. Talk me through the closers that you've got. Right.
So so again, there's a lot to be involved in when you're just creating a door set. People think it's quite simple. So what we've done at UAP is created a firemongery range of products to try to simplify the way that products actually are specified or chosen by individuals. These realistically are aimed more at the smaller manufacturer, where their products that are in each pack or each product that they have the CE marking. They can add them to a door set, a timber door set to be precise, to create a timber fire door. With the door closers, you've got the options of, what aesthetics you want in a product, but also what its capacity is. So with a size 3, which is the first choice of pack 04, that will only go up to a certain limited weight of door and have a fixed kind of power rating, as they call it, for the return of the strength of the actual closer. And then you can obviously offer a pack 05, which will give you a bit more flexibility on its closing speeds and its return, and also will take a bit more weight then in regards to the door size itself, more like an FD60 kind of situation.
Right. Okay. So this particular sort of set of hardware then is something you talk to new customers about when you go out and see them.
Yes, this is obviously a lot more of an internal kind of door setup, where realistically flat entrance doors will be using more of our full X range of product, which is going to be your slam shut style of lock, along with a DDA style handle. These products are more of a timber internal door setup, ideal for your schools, your hospital setups, colleges, anything of a public building nature. These are the kind of products that are specified, and you'll see them wherever you go these days. It's a consistent strength of product where you've got your often options of either your sash lock, your deadlock, or your latch, and those then will create the whole pack, choosing a closer, and if you need any more accessories then, which obviously then will actually complete the door set.
Great. Well, it's been really interesting. Thanks, Richard, for an insight into your role and obviously what sort of things that you can offer to customers. It's been quite interesting for me because we've gone from specification in episode 1 through the testing processes in episode 2, and now looking at what sort of products you offer to your customers and where it sits in the marketplace, so that we've got that rounded sort of view, really. So I'd just like to say thank you very much for being in 2 of the episodes, and that's it for the final episode of our Hardware Intel webinar. Thank you to everybody who's joined us for the series. We've really enjoyed our discussions, and I hope you found it useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the UAP YouTube channel, and I'm sure we'll be back soon discussing some other industry topics. Thank you.
Thank you.